43 children in the U.S. are diagnosed with cancer every day. For 2015, the National Cancer Institute budget was $4.93 billion. Childhood cancer research received roughly $198 million, or about 4% of that sum. I learned far too much about this topic when my nephew earned his angel wings due to DIPG, an aggressive and rare form of pediatric brain cancer. My boss also has a granddaughter who was recently diagnosed with AML at the age of 5 in January of this year. With 43 new cases every day, the chances of it touching a child that you know and love will be great. 15,780 new cases of pediatric cancer are diagnosed a year in the U.S. alone. This is not just about one disease. There are numerous types and subtypes of this disease. However, even with those numbers, it is still considered a rare occurrence, and with funding being so low, it may take generations to find a cure or even better treatments for this disease. Let's start with some facts about childhood cancer. In the U.S. alone, there are 15,780 children a year that will be diagnosed with some form of pediatric cancer. Of that number, 10,450 of them will be between the ages of 0 and 14. 5,330 of them will be between the ages of 15 and 19. 1 in 285 children will be diagnosed with cancer this year. On average, 17% of children die within 5 years of diagnosis. 18% will die within 30 years of diagnosis. Those who survive the 5-year mark have an 8 times greater mortality rate due to the increased risk of liver and heart disease and increased risk of reoccurrence of the original cancer or of a secondary cancer. Now let's talk about the types and costs of treatment. Childhood cancer is not just one disease. There are 12 major types of pediatric cancer and over 100 subtypes. The most common cancers in children are leukemia, brain and central nervous system, neuroblastoma, Wilms tumor, lymphoma, and bone cancer. The average cost of a hospital stay for a child with cancer is $40,000. On average, pediatric hospitalizations for cancer cost almost 5 times as much as hospitalizations for any other pediatric illness. Let's talk about treatment and funding. With a growing number of pediatric cancer patients, there needs to be more funding. Since 1980, only 3 drugs have been approved specifically for use in children. Less than 8 drugs total, including 5 that can be used on adults as well, have been developed for use in children at all. In 2015, the National Cancer Institute's budget was $4.9 billion. Childhood cancer received $198 million of that. A lot of these statistics are scary when you think about it. In all honesty, our children deserve better than this. The fact that so little is spent on researching a disease that is the #1 disease killer of children in the U.S. is horrifying. Think of all the money raised for Breast Cancer Awareness Month. I'm sure you can all tell me when that is, right? Can anybody tell me when Childhood Cancer Awareness is? At only 4% of research funding going to childhood cancer, we need to do better. Our children deserve better. They deserve a chance to live a full and healthy life, and they can't do that with the funding being the way it is. In closing, I would just like to say that we need to come together and raise awareness and funds to fight this disease. No family should have to sit in fear of how long their child is going to live because of this horrible disease. As someone who has seen it from the inside, it is a horrific feeling when every doctor's appointment you are scared of the news you're going to get. So let's raise awareness. Childhood Cancer Awareness Month is in September, so remember to wear gold to support all the children and families dealing with this, as well as raise awareness for this horrible disease. Now I just wanted to show you what childhood cancer looks like for me. This is Joey Lynn. This was a year ago. She looks like a normal, happy, healthy 4-year-old. And this is Joey Lynn and her mom today. Well, actually, I think this picture was taken about a month ago when she got ready to go into the hospital for her 3rd round of chemo. Still smiling. This is my nephew. This was their first trip to St. Jude before he got really sick. And this is the way that I will always remember my nephew, because he passed away at the age of 10. I know these pictures are probably hard to look at, but they put a very real face on a very serious disease. It's something that everybody, all adults, anybody with children, really needs to think about. So, thank you for listening.